pray. It's such that I don't even know how to cook that food. And I remember it was one eatery that I went to in Akwa Ibom. And they used to cook it and they put cabbage and all of that. So when we got married, I started cooking it. And every Sunday, I cook fried rice. You know, once we get back from church, I'll cook fried rice and then eat it. And just one day, they just say, what's all this with fried rice and cabbage? I said, okay. Since that till now, I've not cooked fried rice with cow. One day, he said, oh, yeah, I'm craving. I said, no. I said, I'm like a robot. I have deleted even how to cook that food. I don't know when to put the cabbage again. Say, Shay, you cannot forgive someone. I said, no, that I did not forgive you. But because I have also registered in my head, I want to tell you where tradition also affects romance. Are you listening to me? I've also registered in my head when it's been said that our southwestern culture part of Nigeria, where you say that the food that the husband does not eat, the wife should not cook it. So, as young as I was, while entering marriage, then I also have it in mind. Whatever your husband wants, whatever he doesn't want, don't. Forgetting that there are choices and there can be flexibility. So, I think because of that, I just immediately that word that day, and maybe the way he even said it, it wasn't that nice about it, though he apologized later, but apology does not exactly do it for me like that. Especially when it's something that I know I don't want to repeat, so I just remove it. You know, I do just delete it, I just press delete. So he says, I only cook that. I said, I cannot cook that. Is it that I've forgiven you? But so see how tradition, do you understand? Just because he said he doesn't want it, then I just thought that would be for life. But it shouldn't be. Maybe it was his state of mind that day. Maybe he wasn't feeling good. Maybe he wasn't feeling happy. Do you get it? If I had enough knowledge about this romance and all, I'm not saying, also you didn't like this food. You should have told me all this while. Do you understand? And all of that. And then we might really realize that talking about might not even be about the food. It might be about how he felt coming from work. Maybe he was tired. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? That sometimes the things that we probably conclude quickly about in marriage is just an effect or aftermath of what happened. And so you cannot always base a conclusion without a process of discovery, a process of finding out why this, why did you say this? Why do you want this? Why do you want that? I remember a couple, a couple of years ago, I was talking with some set of couples, and one of them just asked me a question and asked about intimacy, and is it bad for you to like to be tied when you want to have? Now, that is complicated and not complicated. For me, as a therapist, I already know where that person is coming from, where the help is needed. Do you understand where all this is? So when you begin to sense going extreme in certain areas, there are reasons. Why am I still saying this? I kept mentioning reasons and why. You cannot have a deep conversation with your spouse without asking a why. Without asking why, how, what, where, when. As a matter of fact, this what, where, how, when helps to deepen your conversation and you get bonded. Couples who don't talk together can never bond. Couples who do not communicate clearly and effectively can never, ever bond. So romance must come from a place of intentional thoughtfulness, of care. Affection is expressing love through physical touch, sweet gestures, and words of affirmation. How often do you do that? Is it only for the camera that you just hold each other's waist? Sometimes you are just going, you just pull the nose. Do you understand? Sometimes she's just passing in the house, you just smash her bum bum. see you, this girl come. I can't say it here. Before it's couples anger, please. Okay. Or should we be doing a closed meeting? I was like, you come here, Joe, come and sit down here. You must be intentional. Sometimes my husband just say, yeah, come and there are chairs, they come and sit on my lap. When last did you do that? And really, one of the things I realize is that if you have your wedding pictures or your wedding videos, go back to it. There are a lot of things that you guys did that day. There are tips to keep your home romantic. There's one that the wife will go and sit and dance, right? And dance and dance and dance. And then the husband will be spending money. And why? So your wife is asking you for money now. You are changing face. You forgot the wedding day. You forgot what you did. It takes finance to run romance. You were told from that day, you practicalized it. I'm not putting pressure on you guys, men. Are you listening? But it takes this to run this. Even as a woman, if you want to buy anything for your husband, won't you spend money? You will. A romantic home. Even if it's your friend that is that, and my friend needs something, won't you go out of your way to? So if you can give that to how much more your spouse, who is one with you? And one of the other things that they do during that is cutting of the cake. You guys eat together. So, and then I resigned. Immediately I got married, I resigned from my place of work because of the childbearing and then traveling. So there was a day that my husband, he comes home quite late, right? So I would have cooked and I'll be waiting for him because there's this, at least we eat together, I eat together, and I don't eat late. But I just had to, we eat 7, 8, sometimes 9. It's too heavy for me. That started changing the way I'm very natural. It's just, then I started increasing in size. I started increasing. So one day I just said, you will not be hungry. I have to be eating before you come back. Because the way I'm increasing in size, I don't think I can manage that. So that affected eating together. But honestly, eating together goes along. So we only have weekends to do that. Do you understand? So look at some of the things that probably might be a way to balance for each other. So that maybe weekends, you cannot say it's compulsory, we all have to eat together. But one of the ways that I realized that it affected us a little was that even weekends, because I was used to eating anytime I want to eat during, even weekends, I've taken my food and then I'll just give him his and all of that. Then I think one of the other things that now really helped me then is because I chew every grain of food that comes into my mouth. So when the mother said, you are chewing and I can hear. Why come I can hear what you are chewing? I said, see, if you are not comfortable with this, how I eat. I must chew rice, even water, if it's possible to chew water. I'll eat. Okay, I chew it. Do you understand? I'm talking about differences and balancing it, and yet still showing affection. Are you with me? In that place of, so there's that difference, and then so how do we merge it? How do we balance it? He is one, and later I realized that he doesn't really chew, just swallow. So me that I'm chewing, you must hear it now. Do you understand? But at some point, you just have to tell him, have you not eaten? Have you eaten? You don't wait for me. I don't want to disturb you with the sound of my mouth. So, no, now, okay, come. So there's that place where you know how to balance, to begin to bond, even while we eat. Because it's one of the places where you bond, especially when you work. Do you understand? Eating, pay attention to when you both eat together. If you don't have that time during the week, find time, weekend, to do that. Or you go out, if you can. Amen. Then another one is also, I've talked about affection, right? Gestures, words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. How many of us like words of affirmation? I went through the love language and I realized that there's no one that doesn't like any of it. No one. Tell me you don't want me to help you. You are doing something tedious. Tell me you don't want your spouse to help you. Women, it looks as if we do all the house chores. Tell me you've not invited your husband or need you to help me to do this. Let's go, we are here. Yes or no? Don't you like words of affirmation? Won't your head swell? Oh, now you're looking so beautiful. I'm sorry I'm using the oni. It's what my husband calls me, so I'm used to. I have different names. So words of affirmation, it goes a long way. Even husbands. Pastor T, you like words of affirmation, sir? Good. Act of service. Gift goes a long way. Sometimes my husband just say, give me 200 naira. I am like 200 naira. Say, is that small money that I want? Do you understand? He said he just wants to feel that someone gives him something. So gift might just be part of it. What else? Act of service. Help goes a long way. Everyone loves the degree of every. Me, I used to think that it's just when I realized I like act of service. Despite the fact that I am very active in service. I love act of service. I like it a lot. It goes a long way. Kindness goes a long way. Intentional care. Women have been seen to do most of physical work, especially at home. But I want to tell you the truth. If you want to win the heart of your wife, act of service. And shower her with money. No woman, even if she's a billionaire, will still want her husband's money. Women, yes or no? Hey, they cannot hear you. Yes or no? Beautiful. I will still chop my husband's money, even if I'm a billionaire. Amen. And I'm sure every man also wants to chop their wife's money. Men, do you want to chop your wife's money? Answer me, oh. They say, who said no? Please, yes or no? Do you want to chop your wife's money? Pastor Tolu said yes. Please, anyone if you know that your husband said no, please be happy. Just collect his ATM. Amen. And collect the pin. As you are collecting this, collect the pin. So as money is entering, you are the one using it. Amen. So then, another one I will talk about is connection. Connection. You can't connect with your spouse when you don't communicate. Some don't even have non-verbal communication